Well, good afternoon from Rochester City Hall. My name is James Smith. I'm the Deputy Mayor of the City of Rochester, and I want to welcome Rabbi Vogel of Shabbat Lubavitch once again to Rochester City Hall for the lighting of our menorah. I'm joined by Rochester City Councilman Mitch Gruber, and we are a little smaller in number than we have been in the past, Rabbi, but I think we're just as strong in spirit. You know, 2020 has been an interesting year for all of us, maybe a little darker than what we would have liked. I know I can say for myself that's certainly true. So today I'm excited that we're going to be kicking off what's known as the Festival of Lights and Hanukkah, because I think we all need some light in our lives at this point. And 8 days and 8 nights of that sounds pretty good at this point. The Reverend Martin Luther King said that darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. And so I think we're very eager for Hanukkah to help us get that started as we close 2020 and we enter the holiday season. Rochester has had a wonderful history and a very rich history with our Jewish community and our neighbors, a very robust and vibrant Jewish community. We were just talking with the rabbi, and he was telling us how many menorah lightings there are going to be today, and I think that's a wonderful testament to the strong Jewish community that we have here in Rochester. I know as a Christian, lighting a menorah has been part of our tradition for a long time, and I got my menorah out this week, and I was excited to be able to do that. But I think that's also a part of what Dr. King was talking about. And you know, one of the things that Dr. King said after, and a later part of that quote was that darkness cannot, as he said, darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hatred cannot drive out hatred, only love can do that. And the holiday season for me is a time to celebrate all of our neighbors, to celebrate the love of all of our faith traditions and what underscores that in this beautiful time of the year. And so I think as we light the menorah, for me anyway, I'm really excited to get the holidays started. I think it's a wonderful time here in Rochester City Hall and all throughout our city to celebrate with our neighbors, to celebrate their faith traditions, and to be sure that we are providing each other with support and love and kindness, not just during the holidays, but all throughout the year. But I think in 2020, this holiday season is just that much more important. And so I'd also like to introduce City Councilman Mitch Gruber to say a few words before we introduce the rabbi, and then we light the menorah.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor. I'm Mitch Gruber. I'm very proud to be a Jewish member of City Council, and I was just remarking to the Deputy Mayor that I have not been in City Hall in quite some time. I have another job in the community, and I don't get to be here that often because everything is on Zoom now, everything is digital. But it just reminds me when I come into this atrium and see not just how beautiful of a space it is, which it is, but also how very intentional and deliberate the City of Rochester is in making sure that it is welcoming to people who celebrate all religions, who come from all walks of life. That's really meaningful, and it's really important. You can see it here in this atrium. And it made me think of last year where we had all this wonderful momentum. The Rock Holiday Village, we did some of our first very intentional Hanukkah programming. Tons of kids, I don't know, Rabbi, if you made it out, but there were tons of kids. They were singing songs and making their own dreidels, and it was a really wonderful event. And you know, it's just so unfortunate the way we have to celebrate our holidays this year, but we have to remember that this is, the light is at the end of the tunnel, and the 8 days of lighting the menorah is going to get us there even faster. So I'm grateful the city is doing what they can. I'm hopeful that everybody out there celebrates tonight with some sufganiyot, with some latkes, with some dreidel spinning, and with that, I'll bring Rabbi Vogel up to help us get the party started.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for Deputy Mayor and Mitch. Thank you so much for your very warm welcome. It's so nice to be here again. And as I was mentioning to them that time goes by pretty quickly. This year we can use the expression, time is zooming by. But at any rate, I do want to note the absence of the mayor. And I want to take this opportunity to express condolences to her. She's absent because she's mourning her mother. And just want to wish her good health and long life and good things, and may her mother's memory be a blessing to her family and to all who had the privilege of knowing her. And so Of course, Hanukkah is starting very soon, and yes, the crowd is a little smaller, but let me note that the story of Hanukkah really is not about a big crowd. It's about actually a small group of people who decided to do the right thing. And even though they had to battle against the odds, they had to battle against a very large army, but what they showed us was that when you stand up for something that is good and right and just, and you want to do the right thing, then you take on the odds and God comes through with miracles. And I think that this year especially, it's been, of course, as anyone who with their eyes open knows, it's been a rough year for everybody. And but nevertheless, I think the message of Hanukkah is a powerful one now, because it reminds us that light is stronger than darkness. It reminds us that even against the odds, we can take on whatever it is that we need to do, and that we are reminded also of the fact that ultimately miracles do happen. As we say in the blessing of Hanukkah, the Hebrew words are Bayamim Ahem Bizman Hazeh. In those days God made miracles, and in these days too. So just it's really a time for us to draw strength from that and not feel any kind of despair and not to feel down. We're not on our own. Everything will work out. The light is there at the end of the tunnel as we enter the holiday of lights. And I just want to add one more piece to this, and that is that in addition to everything else that Hanukkah does for us in terms of raising our spirits, Hanukkah also reminds us that our obligation is to help others and raise the spirits of others as well. It's an interesting phenomenon about lighting the Hanukkah menorah, is that it is to be done in a way that it's visible to the public. So even when we light it at home, we place it at the window or at the door, and the idea being that the light and the message of Hanukkah is not something that we keep to ourselves, but actually something that we share with the rest of the community. And so Hanukkah reminds us that we are part of a community. We are citizens of Rochester, we're citizens of Monroe County, we're citizens of the world. And we have that responsibility to bring that light of hope, that light of encouragement, that light of strength, the light of goodness and kindness, and the light of, yes, we can believe in miracles, and take all of that and bring it to the world outside. And so lighting the menorah here in the seat of government of the City of Rochester, I think is just so appropriate. It again strengthens the message of how we are blessed in this country of religious freedom. And ultimately Hanukkah was the struggle for religious freedom. So here we are celebrating Hanukkah in a community that really puts religious freedom right there front and center, and in a public place. And so the message hopefully will be conveyed to the entire city of light and hope and goodness and kindness. Thank you very much. And now we will, after all the talk, do something about it. And I'm going to ask the Deputy Mayor to push this switch. It's actually the one at the bottom. And before you do, let me just explain what we're going to be doing. So the Deputy Mayor is going to be pushing the switch, and what will happen is the middle light will come on. That middle light is actually called the shamash. That in a regular menorah is the candle that is used to light the others. But being this is electric, so of course it's going to be a little different. But so that's the shamash. And this evening is the first light, the first night of Hanukkah. So the first one will be lit, and then of course every day we will add another light. Please.
Let's do it.
Yay! Mazel tov and happy Hanukkah, everyone.